What if the Star Wars sequels we got weren't the sequels we were meant to get? What if George Lucas had a plan? A real plan to explore the mysteries of the Force, give Leia her true destiny, and finish the Skywalker saga in a way that felt earned. Instead, we got 3 films, made by 3 different visions, and somehow, Palpatine came back. Today, we're diving into what George Lucas actually had planned for episodes 7, 8, and 9. Why his version made more sense, and why Disney's sequels collapsed under the weight of their own chaos. Let's start with what George Lucas intended, because he did have a blueprint. In George's own words, the next trilogy was about the rebuilding of the Republic. The New Republic is not a nice, clean operation. It's very, very difficult. And he added, the other thing about it was, the Jedi would be starting over. It's like the Old West. You're out there with your laser sword, and not many of you left. His sequels were set years after Return of the Jedi. They weren't about rehashing the Empire. They were about how hard it is to rebuild a broken galaxy, politically and spiritually. The story would follow Luke as a Jedi Master, rebuilding the Order, and Leia as the true chosen one, destined to bring real balance, not just to the Force, but to the Republic. Let's break down the core characters Lucas wanted. We'll start with Luke Skywalker. He wasn't hiding. He was training a new generation of Jedi and unlocking deeper truths about the Force. George said, by the end of the trilogy, Luke would have rebuilt much of the Jedi Order and passed on what he had learned. Now let's move on to Leia Organa. This is where it gets wild. In Lucas's sequels, Leia was the central figure. The chosen one was going to be Leia. She ends up being the one who brings balance. She wasn't sidelined. She was ascending. A Jedi leader, and the Supreme Chancellor of the New Republic. Finally, Darth Maul. Yup, Darth Maul would have been the big bad, not as a Sith apprentice, but as a crime lord, ruling the galactic underworld with a new apprentice, Darth Talon, a female Sith from the Legacy comics. For the next generation of Force users, Lucas had a new hero planned. A young woman, likely named Kira, trained by Luke. She wasn't a Palpatine. She wasn't a mystery box. She was a grounded Jedi in training, part of a new generation, facing a galaxy in chaos. So what would this trilogy actually have looked like? The Republic is back, but fragile. Maul and the crime syndicates fill the power vacuum. Luke is rediscovering the Whills, ancient Force entities that control balance and life. Leia's political power is being tested, as corruption and chaos return, and the next generation of Jedi rise, trained not just in combat, but in spiritual harmony. The conflict wasn't just dark versus light. It was ignorance versus knowledge, disorder versus balance, ego versus unity. It was Star Wars evolving, not rebooting. So, why didn't we get that story? Well, buckle up. In 2012, Disney bought Lucasfilm for over $4 billion. George handed them treatments for episodes 7, 8, and 9. He trusted them to use them. Instead, Disney shelved them. Lucas said, they looked at the stories and they said, we want to make something for the fans. So I said, all right. They weren't that keen to have me involved. And in a 2015 interview, he added, they didn't use my ideas. They just took the brand and went off in another direction. And that's when the chaos started. The Force Awakens was directed by J.J. Abrams, trying to recapture the magic of A New Hope. Then Rian Johnson was given full creative control of Episode 8, with no unified plan. Then Abrams came back for Episode 9, to fix everything, rewriting the script just 6 months before shooting, and throwing in Palpatine. There was no trilogy arc, no roadmap, no cohesion. Actors like John Boyega and Oscar Isaac said they had no idea what their character arcs were. And Daisy Ridley later admitted, at the beginning, there was toying with an Obi-Wan connection. Then it was no one. Then it was Palpatine. In other words, they made it up as they went. Now let's compare both visions. Let's start with the bad guys. George Lucas's vision. Darth Maul rises as a crime lord, not a hidden apprentice, but a true puppet master of the underworld, with Darth Talon by his side. Disney's sequel trilogy. We got Kylo Ren. Then surprise, Palpatine is back. No build-up, no logic, just cloning, and somehow he returned. Next, the hero. George's vision, Leia Organa, the real chosen one. She brings balance politically and spiritually, while Luke trains the next generation of Jedi. Disney's vision, Rey, a mystery box protagonist who flips identities until she's suddenly a Palpatine, turned Skywalker. Let's talk about theme. Lucas's vision, balance, recovery, the cosmic force, rebuilding a galaxy, the right way. Disney's theme, nostalgia, lineage drama, and Empire 2.0. Now, where are the Jedi? George's story. Luke is alive, strong, teaching, rebuilding the order. Disney's story. Luke is alone, he's broken, he thinks the Jedi should end, and fades away. Let's move on to lore. Lucas, exploring the Whills, the true source of the Force, deeper than we've ever gone before. Disney midichlorians, forgotten. The Force, random. Powers show up with no explanation. Teleportation, Force healing, sky lightning, and the last one, consistency. George Lucas's vision, one storyteller. One vision, one complete arc. Disney's trilogy, 3 movies and 3 directors, 3 visions, no roadmap, just last-minute rewrites. That left fans divided. So when you lay them out side by side, it's not just a matter of preference, it's a matter of structure, vision, and respect for the saga. Lucas wanted to evolve the story. Disney tried to revive the past, and in doing so, got lost in it. Here are some reasons why George's version could have saved Star Wars. It honored the past while moving forward. Leia finally gets her spotlight instead of a quick scene of her briefly training. Maul gave us a villain with legacy and depth. The entire Skywalker saga would have tied together, from prequels to sequels. We'd have real answers, not mystery boxes. And most of all, it was consistent. Love him or hate him. George Lucas had one vision. He knew where the story was going. Instead, Disney gave us a billion-dollar game of telephone. So now that you know what could have been, what do you think? Would George Lucas's version have changed everything? Should Leia have become the true chosen one? Would Darth Maul have made a better villain than recycled Palpatine? And what could the galaxy have looked like if the creator of Star Wars had been allowed to finish his story? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your take. Which sequel trilogy do you stand by? George's or Disney's? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, may the Force be with you.